Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know question. Today's Do You Know question is, do you know how the Church celebrated January the 1st over the centuries? There are many themes that surfaced in celebration of January the 1st. Today, it's referred to even as the octave of Christmas. It's one of two feasts in the Church that has an octave. Christmas and then Easter has also an octave. It means that the feast is celebrated for 8 days, from the day December the 25th to January the 1st. And in that feast, there were many themes that surfaced. One of the earliest themes was the birthday of Mary, which eventually got transferred to September the 8th. Where did the feast originate? Well, it seems that's typical like Christmas. The feast of January the 1st originated in the Roman Empire that celebrated, the pagans celebrated a festival to the god Janus, Janus, who was the god of both the old and the new. He was pictured as having two faces. One pointed backwards to the past, and the other one pointed forward to the future. And so, as a matter of fact, the first month of the year under the Julian calendar came to be known as January, a month that looked to the past and looked to the future at the same time. So it was a major festival, and it's typical of Roman festival. There was wine, women, and song all over again. And the Church decided that this would be an ideal time to baptize it and to focus on the octave of Christmas. In other words, to kind of recall what they had been celebrating on December the 25th. So one of the first themes that surfaced was a theme of penance, preparation, and fasting, focused on reconnecting with the Christmas celebration by focusing on the birthday of Mary. Well, the Church found it extremely difficult to counter much of the Roman festivals and so on. And so what started to happen is other religious themes got associated with January the 1st. The first of these themes, besides the Marian one, was the theme of the circumcision of Jesus. According to Luke chapter 2, verse 21, we have the circumcision of Jesus. On the 8th day, Jesus was taken to the temple and circumcised, and was given the name Jesus at that time. So the two themes that got celebrated with January the 1st, along with the Marian feast, was the circumcision of Jesus, and then the holy name of Jesus was also a time that was celebrated as well. And so eventually, over the years, what happened is all three themes got together. So that the pre-Vatican II celebration of January the 1st focused primarily on the circumcision of Jesus, the name of Jesus, and the octave of Christmas. With the Vatican II revisions of the liturgy, what happened is that they wanted to take the focus back to Mary, what it was originally, and connecting it with the Christmas feast. And so they named January the 1st the Solemnity of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Mother of God, and the celebration of the octave of Christmas. So both are going on January the 1st, and the focus was on Mary as the Mother of God. Now the title, Mary, the Mother of God, comes from is one of the oldest and most ancient titles for Mary, comes from the Council of Ephesus. That was in 431. The Council of Ephesus affirmed Mary as the Mother of God because it was being questioned by a number of people saying, well, she was actually the mother of the human side of Jesus, not the divine. She could not be the Mother of God. But the Council of Ephesus said, since Jesus was one divine person with two natures, Mary was the mother not only of the human Jesus, but also of the divine Jesus. So in essence, she was the Mother of God. The Greek term that was used for that was Theotokos, meaning God-bearer. so that Mary was seen and understood as the one who brought forth God. It was a title that was really very, very ancient and very powerful in affirming the role that Mary played in the whole salvation history. And Ephesus was an ideal place for that to be happening, because supposedly tradition has that John took Mary to Ephesus. The Apostle John took Mary to Ephesus with him, and she lived in Ephesus and died in Ephesus not too long after the going to Ephesus with John. So Ephesus became a key place for Mary, and therefore the Council of Ephesus affirmed her as the Mother of God. And to this day we celebrate January 1st primarily as the feast of the motherhood of God, that Mary is the Mother of God. And we celebrate also the octave of Christmas. Hopefully this has helped in bringing you some idea of how we have celebrated January the 1st as a church over the centuries, and that you will return again to more do you know questions so that you can learn more about our faith and our history. Thank you.